Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transparenttrading-solutions.com on a Friday, 6/21 June. Just a lackluster week overall, really, with options expiration today, triple witching, whatever they call it. That's typically either there's volatility or it's dead because everybody, the options market makers are pinning all the options, and that's exactly what happened today. Everything was pretty dead. Let's get into the charts again. Subscribe to the newsletter. I will have a class upcoming, and give me a thumbs up and put some commentary in there. Let's go into the charts. Really not just kind of the standouts. I've been talking about a possible reversal in NVIDIA, and it kind of happened this week. If you look at what happened yesterday after we came back from the holiday, the midday Juneteenth, when the markets were closed, we had a little bit of we gapped up on NVIDIA, kind of reversed, just not a ton of follow through. I think the fact that we had options expiration and whatever but there's still a chance here if we can clear 125. I think eventually I think that definitely goes down to 95 where it broke out from that back big massive gap to fill, at least. So the opportunity is there, but is it going to come up and make a double top? Is it going to so it's rather tricky. This also now is tracking the S&P pretty closely, and so you can see on the S&P futures, they also obviously peaked on Wednesday. The correlation between the S&P futures and NVIDIA is getting more acute, if you will, right? So you can see also on the S&P futures, we also peaked on Wednesday when we opened, kind of been meandering. Today was just a dead, kind of options expiration, pinning of the options, that kind of thing. Similarly with the NASDAQ. So overall, we've got some levels coming up here on the NASDAQ, somewhere along the 19,500 and lower. I think we probably, if NVIDIA goes to 95, NASDAQ probably goes to 18K, something like that as well. Dow, which is the one that still has some levels, did try to break out of this, now pause again. Eventually, I think it makes a new high, it plays a catch up. This is the one index, other than the small caps, that still hasn't made the new high. So I think this is due for probably another new high. And then the Russell's just dead in the water. There's just nothing to talk about. Bitcoin also kind of dead in the water. Just nothing going on with Bitcoin, which is really surprising. Some levels below, maybe even down to 56K, wouldn't surprise me in the least. VIX kind of hanging in there, which is interesting because VIX is making higher lows every time the market makes a high. This thing holds up. So and we got to get above 15 to get this thing moving as well. Rates dead also this week. Nothing going on with rates. The dollar is continuing to creep higher, which is interesting. Maybe a safe haven type of move in the dollar. Behind the scenes here, looks like we're headed up to 106.5 on the dollar index. Yen is the other one. That looks like it's probably going to break 160 here. The 160 is the key level for the yen. This is by the way, this is spot yen. So you can see the spot yen, the 160 goes back to like 1989. So it is worth noting on the spot yen. Let me actually do something here on this. So you can see back, you can draw this chart on a weekly out to 1989, I believe. And you can see, let me see here. So I want to show you real quick here. on the weekly. So the weekly you got to go all the way back to like 19. There it is right there. That's actually where we bottomed on the dollar yen, and on the monthly, you can also see that going way back as well. So anyways, you get the idea. 160 is where we just recently pulled back from. So that's going to be interesting in the coming week. See if the yen actually breaks out or the dollar, breaks another new low as well. Gold and silver all over the map. It was looking pretty good early in the week, gold and silver, and then they just died again. You can see they just hit that thing hard today as the dollar strengthens up. So dollar, I think is, silver also still chopping around in here all over the map. Similarly, gold, oil kind of paused today. Nat gas did not do much with regards to any reaction to the inventories. Still kind of hanging around this 270. Longer term chart is still somewhat bullish, but we're kind of in that very interesting situation here where it's got to hold kind of right in here. If it breaks below that, then I think we're probably heading down to $2 again. And then the grain market still under pressure. Wheat, we here TTS took a shot at wheat and did not work out. We had a very, very small risk trade on this. And that kind of sums it up. So it's going to be interesting. Next week, we've got core PCE. We still have some earnings from FedEx, MU, Micron. There's some other high profile stocks. Nike also next week. So there's still some high profile stocks to be reporting next week. So that's going to be an interesting, and maybe, and there's some rebalancing going on at the end of the quarter as well, which is going to be interesting. So in any event, again, subscribe to the newsletter and put some commentary in there, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend.